Namaste, Hamesha Kushro Vidya. I am JB and Dr. Minakshi, Assistant Professor in Department of Shalakya Tantra, Faculty of Ayurvedic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे एनाटॉमी ऑफ एक्सटर्नल ईयर। ठीक है, तो सबसे पहले समझना इम्पोर्टेंट है व्हाट इज ईयर। ईयर आर द पेयर्ड सेंसरी ऑर्गन्स comprising the auditory system involved in detection of sound and vestibular system involved in maintaining balance of the body। ठीक है, तो ईयर पेयर्ड सेंसरी ऑर्गन्स होते हैं, दो ईयर्स होते हैं एंड दे आर द सेंसरी ऑर्गन्स, और इसमें दो सिस्टम इन्वॉल्व होते हैं ईयर्स में, एक तो ऑडिटरी सिस्टम, एक वेस्टिबुलर सिस्टम। तो ऑडिटरी सिस्टम होता है डिटेक्शन ऑफ साउंड के लिए और वेस्टिबुलर सिस्टम होता है बैलेंस ऑफ बॉडी को मेंटेन करने के लिए। ठीक है, तो ईयर के तीन पार्ट्स होते हैं। ठीक है, एक्सटर्नल ईयर फर्स्ट पार्ट, सेकंड पार्ट इज मिडिल ईयर एंड थर्ड पार्ट इज द इनर ईयर। Here is an image of the ear in which they have shown the outer ear, which is external ear, then the middle ear, and then the internal ear. So here comes the anatomy, that is of external ear. There are three parts mainly. Anatomy includes three parts. Auricle, which is also known as the pinna, external acoustic canal, which is also known as the external auditory canal, and third is the tympanic membrane. What is pinna or auricle? The entire pinna except lobule and the outer part of external auditory canal are made up of a framework of single piece of yellow elastic cartilage covered with perichondrium and skin। इसका मतलब है जो हमारा एंटायर पिन्ना होता है, ऑरिकल होता है, और जो एक्सटर्नल ऑडिटरी कैनाल का बाहर वाला पार्ट होता है वो एक सिंगल इलास्टिक कार्टिलेज से बने होते हैं। ठीक है, येलो कलर के इलास्टिक कार्टिलेज से बने होते हैं जो कि पेरिकॉन्ड्रियम और स्किन से कवर्ड होता है। ठीक है, व्हाट इज पेरिकॉन्ड्रियम? पेरिकॉन्ड्रियम इज अ लेयर ऑफ dense irregular connective tissue that surrounds the cartilage of developing bone। ठीक है, तो कार्टिलेज के ऊपर जो कनेक्टिव टिश्यू की एक लेयर होती है उसको बोलते हैं पेरिकॉन्ड्रियम। पेरी मींस अराउंड एंड कॉन्ट्रस रेफर्स टू द कार्टिलेज। तो यहाँ पे इमेज है पिन्ना की। पिन्ना में आप स्ट्रक्चर्स देख सकते हैं, क्या क्या है इनको आगे हम एक्सप्लेन करेंगे। फर्स्ट इज हेलिक्स। हेलिक्स इज द फोल्डेड आउटर over outside edge of the ear। ठीक है, this outside edge of the ear is known as the helix। Then antihelix, it forms a Y shape where the upper parts are superior crux and inferior crux। This Y shaped structure is called the antihelix and it has two crux, superior crux and inferior crux। Superior crux is to the left of the fossa triangularis in the diagram and inferior crux to the right of the fossa triangularis in the diagram। This is the fossa triangularis or triangular fossa. To the left side of that there is superior crux and it is the inferior crux to the right of the triangular fossa। Then the fossa triangularis, it is a depression in the fork of the antihelix। Okay, this is the fork of the antihelix। This is the fork of the antihelix and between these two there is a space in the fossa called the triangular fossa। Then next is the scapha। It is the depression or groove between the helix and antihelix। Scapha, it is the groove between the helix and antihelix। Then Darwin's tubercle. It is a tubercle which is sometimes present lying in the descending part of the helix. Okay? There is a Darwin tubercle sometimes present on the. This is a descending part of helix. It is present over there. Then tragus. It is a prominence of the external layer in front of and partly closing the passage to the organ of hearing. It is the prominence of the external layer. Okay, it closes the passage of the organ of hearing. When you press it, then no sound will be transferred to the external auditory canal. Then antitragus. Antitragus is below the tragus. This is the antitragus. Okay, below the tragus. Then incisura anterior oris or intertragic incisure or intertragic notch is the space between the tragus and antitragus. This is the intertragic notch. Then crus of the helix is just above the tragus. This is the crus of the helix. It is just above the tragus. Then concha is the hollow next to the ear canal. This is the concha. Then incisura terminalis, it is a gap between the superior part of tragus and root of helix, which is devoid of cartilage, having only fibrous tissue. And oral approach incision is made on this area, will not cut through the cartilage in surgery of external canal on mastoid. ठीक है, superior part of tragus और ये root of helix में यहाँ पे होता है incisura terminalis. ठीक है, तो एंडोरल अप्रोच अगर हम सर्जरी करनी होती है तो हम इंसिजन यहाँ पे यूजुअली इंसिजन लगाते हैं जब हमें एक्सटर्नल ऑडिटरी कैनाल और मेस्टोइड की सर्जरी करनी होती है. ठीक है, ये यहाँ पे कार्टिलेज प्रेजेंट नहीं होता एट द इंसिसुरा टर्मिनालिस. ठीक है, इसका आगे का पोर्शन हम नेक्स्ट सेशन में कवर करेंगे. थैंक यू सो मच. दिस सेशन इज पावर्ड बाय डिजिटल वर्जन 2.0 ज्योति विद्यापीठ विमेंस यूनिवर्सिटी. I hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in the comment box. I will resolve it soon. Thank you so much. Namaste students. I am JV Dr. Meenakshi, Assistant Professor in Department of Shalakya Tantra, Faculty of Ayurvedic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. Today the topic of discussion is physiology of hearing. How we are able to hear things. What is the function of our ear? It is the hearing and balance. So कैसे हम सुन सकते हैं वो हम डिस्कस करेंगे इसमें क्लास में. So the pinna directs the sound waves into the external auditory canal. Then these sound waves strike the eardrum and vibrate it back and forth. The central area of the eardrum, it is contacts the malleus, hence the causes its vibrations as well. Then the vibration passes from the malleus to the incus and then to the stapes bone in the middle ear. This is a picture of the outer ear, middle ear and inner ear. So from the left side you can see the sound waves that are entering into the from the pinna into the external auditory canal, and then they are striking to the at the tympanic membrane. Then through the malleus the vibrations are going from the malleus to incus and incus to stapes. So that's how the conduction of sound is there. Okay, and then the stapes moves the membrane of the oval window. The vibration of the oval window owing to the smaller surface area is 20 times more vigorous than the vibration of the eardrum. The area of tympanic membrane relative to the oval window, there is a picture. On the left side there is the tympanic membrane area, on the right side there is the area of Stiff's foot plate, which is attached to the oval window. The total effective area of the tympanic membrane is 69 mm square, and the area of Stiff's foot plate is 3.2 mm square. The effective aerial ratio is 14:1. Thus, by focusing sound pressure from larger area of the tympanic membrane to the smaller area of the oval window, the effectiveness of energy transfer between air to fluid of cochlea is increased. The oval window vibration sets the fluid thrill in the parallel of the cochlear scala vestibuli and then to the scala tympani. The scala tympani pushes the round window outward into the middle ear. All these movements can cause pressure waves in the andolem inside the cochlear duct. We are talking about the cochlear duct or membrane of cochlea. The pressure fluctuations of the andolem thrills the basilar membrane of the cochlear duct slightly, which in turn moves the hair cells of the spiral organ against the tectorial membrane. In this picture, you can see the scala vestibuli, scala media, then scala tympani, the organ of Corti, which rests on the basilar membrane. Then there is the image, we can see the tectorial membrane, which is attached to the hair cells. Then there is a vestibulocochlear nerve, then the basilar membrane. The bending of the microvilli produces the receptor potentials that ultimately lead to the generation of nerve impulses in the cochlear nerve fibers. And there is a picture, we can see the tectorial membrane, the inner hair cells, outer hair cells, basilar fiber, spiral ganglion, then cochlear nerve through which the vibrational spirit boom. The different frequencies of the sound waves cause specific regions of the basilar membrane to vibrate more. The membrane near the base closer to the oval window is narrower and stiffer and moves with high frequency sounds. Near the apex, the membrane is wider and more flexible, more responsible to low frequency sounds. What is the basilar membrane? Basilar membrane separates the scala media from the scala tympani. The length of the basilar membrane increases progressively from the oval window to the apex. At the near the oval window, it is 0.04 mm, and at the helicotrema it is 0.5 mm. Means 12-fold increase is there. The diameter of the basilar fibers decrease from oval window to the helicotrema. The stiff short fibers near the oval window vibrate best at very high frequency, while long limber fibers near the tip of cochlea vibrate best at a lower frequency. So these are the images we can see. It is a base. On the left side, you can see base that is narrow and stiff towards the apex, which is wide and flexible. There are different frequencies. The high pitch can be heard near the base, then there are low pitch near the apex. So low frequency sounds are heard best at the apex region. Okay. The sound waves move hair cells that convert mechanical force into the electrical potential, that is the receptor signals as follows. The movement of hair cells back and forth causes opening of the ion channels in the microvilli. You can see this image, okay? That will make you understand it in a better way. These are the resting potential of the hair cells, top links. At this time, the cations, especially the potassium calcium ions, move from the endolymph into the hair cell cytoplasm. This causes the depolarization of the receptor potential. This triggers the exocytosis of the synaptic vesicles containing the neurotransmitter GABA. GABA, the gamma aminobutyric acid. This is the image given here. How there will be depolarization. Okay. After sufficient depolarization, the microvilli move in the opposite direction to close the ion gates to cause the repolarization. Then the cochlear branch of the auditory nerve conducts auditory impulses to the cochlear nuclei in the medulla oblongata. That is central auditory pathway from the cochlear nuclei to the superior olfactory complex, then to the nucleus of lateral lemniscus, then inferior colliculus, then medial geniculate body, and then the auditory cortex. that is the central auditory pathway. Here the fibers cross over and extend to the midbrain and terminates in thalamus. From thalamus, the signals project to the primary auditory area 41 and 42 in the temporal bone of the cerebral cortex. So these are given the primary auditory cortex and the temporal bone mentioned here with the sketch pen. So here complete the physiology of hearing.